Hello guys, today we're going to learn how to create your own custom Helm chart and how to package that chart from the scratch. So for that, first I have to create the chart. For that, I have the command helm create and the chart name. I'm going to give my chart as the chart name. Let's run this now. Now my chart is created, and if I run ls and the my chart folder is created, and if I go inside that my chart folder, I have these files. I have explained the Helm chart structure in the previous video. Check out that video too. Here generally we have the file like chart.ml, then the values.ml and the folders like charts and templates folder. Using this chart, I am going to create a Nginx application now. So for that, first I am going to modify the chart.ml file. So in chart.ml file, I will paste my content. In chart.ml file, generally we will add the metadata of this particular chart. Generally it is used for identification of this chart. So here we are using this chart to deploy the Nginx application, and the type is application. This type of metadata we will add it in the chart.yaml file. Then the next important file is values.yaml file. In values.yaml file, we will define the default configuration values for this chart. Here in this Nginx application, I am going to add the replica count as 1. Then the image I am going to use is the Nginx image, and the tag will be latest. And the pull policy is if not present, means if image is not present, then only pull the image. Then I'm going to deploy this Nginx application as a service, and the service type is node port, and the port I'm going to use 80, and node port is 30,080 port. Then the container port for Nginx is 80 port. Within the templates folder, we have the two files, deployment.yaml file and service.yaml file. So let's first check the deployment.yaml file. So this deployment.yaml file is similar to your Kubernetes deployment file, but this is a template, so we don't add any values directly here. Here this deployment template also has AKMS, API version, kind, metadata and spec. Here API version is app/1, then kind is the Kubernetes resource, that is deployment. In metadata, I'm going to add the deployment name, but here I'm going to take the deployment name from the release name. Here it will take the name dynamically from the release name. And in the specification for the replicas, it will take the values from the values.yaml file dynamically. Similarly for labels also, it will take the values dynamically from the release name. Then in the container name is Nginx, then the image, it will take the image from the values.yaml file dynamically. Here you can see dot values dot image repository and dot values dot image dot tag. So from the values.yaml file, and if I check here values.yaml file, it will take the values image dot repository, that is Nginx, then the image dot tag, that is the latest tag. Then the image pull policy is values.image.pull policy. Then for the container port, it will take the value from the container.port from the values.yaml file, that is 80. This is how you define the deployment YAML template. So for everything, it will take the values dynamically from the values.yaml file or the release name or something else. I have the service.yaml file template here. Here also I have the AKMS, AP version is v1. Then the kind is nothing but Kubernetes resource, that is service. Then for the metadata, it will take the values dynamically from the release name. Then in the specification for the type, we get the values from the values.yaml file. The value will be service.type. Here you can see service.type, that is nothing but node port. Then for the selector, we will get the values from the release name. Then the port is nothing but the service.port. Then the target port is container port, and the node port will be get it from the values.service.node port, that is nothing but here node port, that is 30,080. Now I have all the required files for my Nginx application. Now I can install this particular chart. For that, I have the command helm install, then the application name I will give my app, and the chart, that is nothing but my chart. And if I run this now, my chart is created now. Also you can run commands like kubectl get pods. It will list all the pods. In replicas, I have mentioned replica as 1. So one pod is created and it is in running state. Now in our cluster, if the 30,080 port is open, then you can access this application in your browser also. I can access this application using the external IP of my node and colon 30,080. That is nothing but the node port I have mentioned in the values.yaml file. And if I run this now, I will get the application, that is the Nginx application. So I have deployed the Nginx application using my custom Helm chart. Then for application, we generally update our application version, right? Here, if you want to deploy your next version of application, generally you update the code, then you create a new image and you use that image in your values.yaml file. You create a new image version, then you add that particular tag here. For example, here I am updating the tag as 1.27.5. So generally in Helm, for the application upgrade, you generally update your values.yaml file only. You don't modify any templates like deployment.yaml or service.yaml. You only modify the values.yaml file values. Once you updated your values.yaml file, then you can run the command helm upgrade. Instead of install, I'm going to run helm upgrade. Then if you run this now the update is deployed now. Now my application will use the new version of Nginx. That's how you handle the application upgrade using the Helm. Then if multiple users are using this Helm chart and if you want to share this chart, then you have to package this chart first. To package, we have the command helm package and the chart name, that is my chart. It will create a package with .tgz extension. Then you can upload this package to any package register. So that's it for today. Today we learned how to create our own custom chart from the scratch, then how to package that. Subscribe and check out other videos too.